Joining us live, our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. Lots to get to. We'll get to Tottenham in a second, but we're going to start with a big story in town at the moment that you were one of the first to break yesterday, David. Mykhailo Mudryk no longer going to Arsenal, but going to Chelsea. Talk us through what happened and how the Blues pulled this one off.
Yeah, it's a remarkable saga, Rebecca, and it's a done deal to Chelsea. Mykhailo Mudryk, the hijack of Arsenal's proposed signing of the Ukraine international winger, is complete because he has finished his medical tests. They are signing the contract, as I'm told, right now, and they hope that he will be in attendance at Chelsea's match today. So quite a turnaround. How did it come about? Well, Arsenal had been leading the race, and we talked here on NBC about how Chelsea had been monitoring the situation. Their interest was always there, but Arsenal were in pole position. And on Thursday, reports emerged that Arsenal were really stepping it up with a new bid. They were trying to close out this acquisition. And that's when Chelsea decided to pounce. And by Friday, they were already thinking about flying over to the Shakhtar Donetsk training camp in Turkey. On Saturday morning, that flight was taken by Bedad Egbali, the co-owner of Chelsea, along with Paul Winstanley, the top recruitment executive there at the moment. They sat with Shakhtar for hours and thrashed out a deal. They agreed a deal with Shakhtar, they agreed a deal with the player, and that means it was pretty much done and dusted. 70 million euros plus 30 million euros in add-ons and a 7+ year contract. They got on a flight from Turkey to London and they arrived back in the early hours, and everything has been done and dusted since then. But Chelsea's recruitment doesn't finish there. Their priority remains a midfielder, maybe also a goal scorer, a right-back cover, for example, and there will also be some departures. But this, if anything, shows that the owners are backing Graham Potter in the market. He was involved in this decision like he has been in all recruitment decisions, perhaps more than some people think. My goodness, don't sleep on Chelsea.
Indeed. And so what are the noises coming out of Arsenal?
Disappointment, shock, for sure, a bit of bitterness about the way that this has unfolded, because Mykhailo Mudryk was, of course, their key target for this transfer window, quite like João Felix became when that opportunity to sign him on loan arose. But in both cases, they've joined Chelsea. So it is, of course, a setback for Arsenal, but they have experienced these situations in previous windows, and they tend to have come out of them stronger. The word from the Emirates Stadium is that the numbers were getting crazy. They weren't prepared to get involved in a bidding war, and they'll only sign players if it makes sense financially and improves the squad. They clearly thought that would have happened on Mudryk and on Felix. But will they turn to a plan B? Those were their firm targets, but of course they will have recruitment lists. And already you're seeing reports around possibly Rafinha, who they went for last summer. But my understanding is that his priority is to remain at Barcelona despite their financial position. You've also seen Leandro Trossard of Brighton and Hove Albion linked. He very publicly has fallen out of favour at the club. So that might be one to watch, but I don't know about active movements as things stand. Arsenal are a bit thin in the attacking positions because of the injury to Gabriel Jesus, which is worse than feared, and will keep him out for months, in the words of Mikel Arteta, although they do hope to get him back before the end of the season. And then it's just the likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, who would, of course, played ahead of Mudryk initially, and that was a factor in this deal, and Eddie Nketiah. So we'll have to see how that develops, but also two of those players, Saka and Martinelli, as well as William Saliba, are in contract negotiations with Arsenal. There is no update or breakthrough on those yet because Arsenal are focusing on the window as a priority and, of course, their title charge. So let's see what happens in these last couple of weeks of the window. Mikel Arteta does want to strengthen, and Arsenal have a pretty good record in recent years. So don't think they're out of this just yet in terms of reinforcing their squad.
OK, good news then for Arsenal fans. Across North London to Tottenham, some reports the last few days in the papers, David, about maybe some Qatari investment into Tottenham.
Qatari sports investment, Rebecca, do want to take out a minority stake, we believe, in a Premier League club. And Tottenham are said to be among those that they've held conversations with. We must stress that Tottenham do deny that they have held these conversations, but it has been widely reported and is understood that representatives of QSI have met with Daniel Levy, the Tottenham chairman, because, of course, Tottenham, who have been owned by ENIC, and Levy has been in charge really since 2001, so it's a long time. They've not won a league title in many years. They, of course, have built the new stadium and training ground, but many of these clubs are having conversations with potential investors to take out minority stakes or to embark upon full takeovers of their clubs. Sometimes it comes to something, sometimes it doesn't, but Tottenham want dearly to remain competitive. And their fans last week, the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust wrote to the club demanding answers on a number of subjects. The club has pledged to write back to them, and they include potential investment in the club, potential naming rights deals. Remember, I reported that Google had held talks about a possible deal on that front, and also the future of Antonio Conte. As things stand, there are conversations going on, but he's out of contract in the summer. There is an option to extend him. Those contract talks will continue, and let's see if they come to fruition, with the likes of Mauricio Pochettino and Thomas Tuchel constantly being linked. Harry Kane, too, out of contract in 2024. No talks as yet. With the window and the World Cup, that's likely to happen after the ball is in his court. Will he leave as a free agent in 24? Will he sign a new deal? It will probably come down to Tottenham's ambition and chances of competitive trophy-winning potential, and that relates back to the overall ownership picture and the chances of success.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.